Starting a business sounds super exciting, and it is, until you realize that there are forms to fill out, there's legal entities to set up, and there's a right and a wrong way to do it. And I've been there. I've made some mistakes, and I don't want you to make those same mistakes. So here's how I would set up a business step by step, and I want to break it down for you so you don't make the same mistakes. Step one is what I like to call the legal setup. Let me give you a trick right out of the books. There's this website called LegalZoom. I have no affiliation to them. I have just used them for all of my businesses that I've set up. They make it super easy to know what you need to do on a state-by-state basis. If I'm setting up a business in Utah, it's a heck of a lot different than if I'm setting up a business in New York or California. Use LegalZoom. This way you can make sure that you're getting all the ducks in a row. And on top of that, they help you understand which is better, an LLC, a sole proprietorship, an S Corp, a C Corp. There's a million different things that you can do there. So make sure that you're using LegalZoom or some other website to help you understand what you need to do and what state-specific rules there are for setting up your business. The second part of the legal setup, and this will be included in your LegalZoom, I think, is register with your state and get your EIN. So you want to choose a name that isn't being used by anywhere else. If you go on your government website, mine is utah.gov, and you type in, they have like a name search on there. You can type in the name of the company that you want to do, and if someone else is using it, they will let you know that it's already been taken. Then you'll have to come up with a new name. Here's a tip though. When I started my logistics company, and I named it Pride Logistics Corporation, I wanted to name it Pride Logistics, but somebody else was already using that name. And so what I did is I developed the Pride Logistics CO or Corporation. That is a different name than just Pride Logistics. So if you're really stuck on a name and you really want your business to be that name and it's taken by somebody else who doesn't really have a business, they just have that registered as their name and they're taking it, there are ways that you can add little things at the end of your name to use that name. Step number 2 is what I call the financial setup. Now, you're going to want to get a bank account that is just for your business. You do not want to have a personal bank account and your business bank account going together. Number one, it's very bad when it comes to pay taxes. You have no idea what's what. It'll be a complete disaster. Whether you're doing your own taxes or you have a CPA or somebody else doing your taxes for you, if you combine those bank accounts, it's an absolute nightmare. Make sure to go to the bank, say I want to open up another account. It's going to be a business account. You're going to have your articles of incorporation. You give those to them, and then they will set up that business account for you. This is a non-negotiable. You have to do it. Please make sure you do this. The next thing is to get a business credit card. There's a million business credit cards out there, so go on YouTube, go on Google, find the one that suits you best. I use Amex. The reason that I use Amex, because it gives me a bunch of points for traveling. Me and my wife just went to Paris for our 10th anniversary for free. We stayed at an awesome hotel that was right by the Eiffel Tower. We flew there, first class, free, because of all the points that I'm getting by putting all my business expenses on my credit card. So that's kind of fun. That's one of the reasons that you need a business credit card. But the main reason that you need a business credit card is to once again separate what you are doing in your life. You don't want your personal life and your business life to commingle. You want to separate those because when it comes tax season, especially if you have a bigger business, it's going to be an absolute nightmare to separate those two. If you ever get audited by the IRS, it's super easy just to go, boom, everything's on this, everything's in this bank account, here are the receipts, boom, 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 everything is there. So get yourself some type of credit card to where you only use that credit card for business expenses. Step number 3 is bookkeeping and tax. There's 2 different ways to do this. Number 1 is you can pick something like QuickBooks or Bench or do it manually, whatever you want to do, and you can do it yourself. Which at first, when you're starting your first business, when I started my first gym, me and my wife, we used QuickBooks and we did everything together. This is a really good way to help you understand the financials, be able to read a P&L and all that stuff. If you're a little bit farther along in the process and you understand all those things already, then what you want to do is hire someone to do that for you. They will have a QuickBooks, either your login or their login, depending on the CPA firm, and they will give you a P&L, a balance sheet, numbers, cash on cash, everything like that on a monthly basis. This is what you use to submit to the IRS, but since they are already doing it, they already have it, it makes things super duper easy. So you have to decide, do I want to pay somebody to do that, or do I want to do it myself? Now, here's a quick tip that I'm going to give you. Most people think I'm going to do it myself because I'm saving money. Wonderful. How much time are you saving though? That's the big question. I pay my people around $500 per month to give me a balance sheet, P&L, the whole 9 yards. They take care of it 100%. They have access to my bank accounts, my credit cards, everything for the business, and I don't have to worry about it at all. I will gladly pay $500 per month for them to do that because that's not my forte. That's not what I like to do. If you're somebody that geeks out over numbers, that loves to do spreadsheets and QuickBooks and all that stuff, go for it. You're probably thinking, yeah, I'm gonna do that, it's awesome. But if you're someone like me who hates doing that type of stuff, spend the money, get somebody to do it right, and take that off your plate so you can get your time back. All right, the last part of this step with the bookkeeping and tax, make sure that you have an accountant at the end of the year that knows your business. Just because somebody is an accountant that knows how to do business tax doesn't mean that they know how to do your business tax. There's a big difference. Somebody could be a very skilled CPA, a very skilled accountant, but if they don't know your actual line of business or the industry that you're in, they may not know all the tips and tricks that they could use to save you money. There are a bunch of write-offs that you can do. There's a ton of stuff that you can do with business. But those of us, like myself, who are not trained in that, who don't keep up on the tax law and the ever-changing tax law whenever we have a new president or anything like that, we're not gonna get all the loopholes and everything that we want from the tax code. But you also don't wanna do it wrong. If you do it wrong, then you could end up on the IRS's red flag list and they're gonna audit you, and that's the last thing that you want. Tip for that is please make sure that you get an accountant or a CPA and get somebody who knows the business that you are in. If you're in a service-based business to where you're doing lawn care or you're doing a gym or you're washing windows, anything like that, most accountants and most CPAs will know how to do that. If you're doing a franchise like Chick-fil-A or Subway, or you're an Amazon DSP or anything like that, those are a little bit more complicated because they're ran in a certain way. And you need a certain tax accountant that will know the ins and outs of that. All right, the first three are really the most important ones and the serious ones. These last two, they are serious, but they're things that you don't absolutely have to have, but I would highly recommend to look professional. Step number 4 is having a professional setup. You'll want to look good in person, but also online. Make sure you have a domain name and make sure you have a website. Now, you don't need to go crazy and spend thousands and thousands of dollars in building the perfect website. Go on Kajabi, go somewhere to where it's super easy just to build your own website, and make sure you have one out there so that number 1, people can leave reviews, and number 2, people can verify you. You can also do this with social media. Use Instagram, use YouTube, use TikTok. All these social media platforms can verify you to make sure you're legit. But you do need to look professional in every facet of your business so that people can verify you and make sure that you're doing good. The other thing that I would recommend is a business email setup. You can use Gmail or you can use a hosting platform to where it says your name at abcbusiness.com. I just use Gmail for my businesses. And the reason that I would suggest this is that you want to separate, once again, separation from your personal life and your business life. If you have a bunch of emails that are coming in about your family's school, your daughter's school, or whatever, and they're bleeding into your business email, you can lose things. But if you have a business email set up that the only thing that comes in there is business stuff, it's a lot easier to keep track of if you have to renew something, if someone's reaching out, if there's a bad review that came in. Put your business and your personal life completely separate, and this is another way that you can do it by setting up an email that only business stuff comes into. All right, the last step that I would do in starting your business is I would set up some type of privacy. If you want to use your personal number to, let's say you're starting a landscape business and you want to give people your personal number and it's on your business card and it's on your website, just know that when your business really takes off, that phone is going to be blowing up a lot, right? Or what you could do is you could get a Google Voice phone number. That way you can set up to where you can do business hours from 8 to 6 o'clock at night. That phone rings, you can answer it, and you can do what you need to do to make sure your customers are happy. But you do want to create privacy so that after 6 o'clock, you have time with your family, you're at dinner, you're doing extracurricular activities, whatever it is that you're doing. And that way the Google Voice can go to a voicemail that says that we're closed, please leave a voicemail, and then you get back to them in the morning. So privacy if you want it. I would suggest that you set up some type of phone number that's not your personal phone number so those two don't bleed together. The other one that I would suggest is a P.O. box to protect your address. Sometimes we do our best in business to not let this happen, but sometimes we simply piss people off, and we piss them off enough that they want to come after us. This personally has never happened to me, thank goodness, crossing fingers, knocking on wood, but I have heard it happen to other people, to where they upset a customer, they upset an employee, and then they came to their house and slashed their tires, they threw bricks at their windows, stuff like that. And when you're sending out payroll, when you're sending out checks, when you're doing whatever, and your main address is on those checks and they can find you, kind of not good sometimes. So if you want to, set up a P.O. box. That way that all the mail and everything goes there. That's where you're doing business as, from that address, and then doing business. And then you don't have to worry about the crazy people that might show up your house in the middle of the night. The other thing that you can do, and this is what most people do, is if you have a warehouse, you have an office, or you have a place that you work out of, you can use that address as your business address, and that way you can separate those two as well. So if you're watching this video, chances are that you've come up with your first big business idea, and you don't need my 7-step checklist. But what I can offer you is if you go to myelevatedmindset.com, in the top right corner, there is a coaching tab. If you found this video super helpful and you don't need any other help, props to you. But if you still need a few more things explained, or you need help scaling your business, or you want just a few ideas to bounce off somebody, fill out the Google Sheet in the coaching tab, and I'd be happy to hop on a call with you. Please remember also to subscribe and like, so that I can continue pushing out more business content to help you grow your business and become a millionaire.